All right, all right, all right. Let me talk about y'all vile president. Let me talk about the vile ass president, better known as scumbag Trump. Let's get into this racist ass State of the Union, man. You mean letting the white bigotry just rain out of this fool's pie hole? I just want to keep the picture of this disgusting piece of shit born out of the rat hole of an immigrant slut brought over into America on a raft or something. I don't know what that bitch came over here. She should have been on the Titanic, so we wouldn't have to deal with this scumbag. But his third class mother, who's an immigrant, comes to this country. Salute to my cousin Deuce Time. He's probably in here to hopefully you ain't in here to defend Trump. I don't want you defending Trump, crying about him, because the person I'm talking about is Trump. So if you can't take to hear me saying this shit I'm about to say about him, Cuzzo, please don't listen, because I'm about to go in on this motherfucker. But let me talk about this racist ass motherfucking president. The only thing he talked that was, worthy of a clap from me, because even my kids listen to this shit. I let them listen to it while I listen to it in the car. But the only thing worthy of a agreement with Donald Trump in this thing was him speaking about corporations, about corporate America buying up large swaths of new available homes, only for them to turn these properties into rental properties, to skyrocket the price of single family homes. But in the same breath, these delusionary MFers would shift blames towards other individuals to fit a new narrative that they will gain support from the ignorant class in America who loves to vote against its own interests. That knowing that they speak about the cost of rent, the cost to afford a home, coming from these corporations who buy up thousands upon thousands of damn homes because there's no laws to restrict that shit. But then they'll shift the blame so nobody starts coming down on these corporations to blaming this shit on the influx of immigrants. See how this shit all works. Blame this to the influx of immigrants. Then he went in on the Somalis, man. This is what some Somalis get for being little white kiss asses. Parents them brought them over into this country. And it's always the first generations who come over here. And they love to kiss the ass of white people for giving them the opportunity of being in this country, but not knowing that it's going to be black people who show them the way and how to conduct themselves inside. Not all blacks. Some blacks are a bunch of ignorant, degenerate, low-life motherfuckers. Give me 1 second. Let me tell my baby good night. Just 1 second. All right, we back. So, like some of our people are not representations of us. They are what I start calling recidivized slaves. So these are people who, voluntarily going back into becoming slaves, and that there's no plantation for them to become slaves on. They just out here in the free world where through hard work they can become anything that they want to be, but they love to resort into becoming slaves. They wish they can experience with what their great grandparents had lived the life as. So, but the best thing when foreigners come here is to learn the way to navigate, function, stand up, be proud, and be strong, is to learn that from black folks who are righteous, who are smart, who will stand up, don't assimilate, don't tuck their tail, don't bow down, and don't turn no other cheek. Meaning you stay away from the churches and shit that they teach you. Not from our churches, but you stay away from churches that paint that bullshit. But so he goes in on the damn Somalis, but the way in which he gets to the way he gets to this racist shit. So there it says, can I call for 20 minutes? Go ahead. The fuck. But so the way he gets to this shit about pointing blame towards Somalis. He painted the picture of the one black guy who ended up taking a life of a foreigner who happened to be white than a motherfucker, who didn't belong here, who was stabbed on the train. But so he goes into this shit about the violence that has come here and the resources these people are using, and we're going to use it before you can go vote. We're going to use a voter ID card because we don't want the immigrants turning into Democrats and voting Democrat. We don't want them voting shit. You're going to need a voter ID card and all this other shit. The immigrants, they send in thousands of their goddamn prisoners, murderers, all this other shit, trying to scare people into the immigrant is the worst thing ever coming to this country. We got to get rid of them. Why this motherfucker life has been threatened 3 times, because just this week they killed the white dude who looked like Barron Trump at Trump's house. Barron ain't blasting because Barron a hoe. Barron Trump the biggest bitch on this fucking planet. He a bigger bitch than his mama. He ain't about to stand up to shit. That dude could have walked up in their house, beat Barron the fucked up. Melania would have opened her legs for the motherfucker because she finally see a tough guy in the motherfucking house or in her presence. She ain't seen that in a long time. Melania would have just fucked the dude. Had that intruder broke into the damn Mar-a-Lago estate, Melania Trump would have been on her knees, sucking the motherfucker off and giving it to him doggy style with her flat iron board ass butt. So that's what that nigga would have crip Mac Melania Trump. What my nigga crip Mac be saying? I'm a fucker rough in her pussy and fuck her asshole. What Melania would have got done to her had the intruder walked in their motherfucking house, beat Barron Trump whole ass up, and it been that. So he talks all this shit about the immigrants, all while ignoring the fact that his life had been threatened this might be the 4th time he was popped in the air, the guy on the golf course, and then that dude. And I'm trying to think, it may have been a 4th person, but that was this week. He ignores that shit. These are all white folks. Then you got the little hoe ass motherfucker Charlie Kirk, who bitch ass is laying in the motherfucking sewage, who got his punk ass killed in one of the whitest fucking states in this country, one of the whitest cities in this fucking country, at one of the whitest universities in this country by one of the whitest fucking shooters you ever seen in this damn country. And they want to cheer on Charlie Kirk. I say assassin, assassin, assassin. Valhalla to the assassin, like the little Indian motherfucker who think he white. Cash Patel. You need to change that fucking name. You want to be so damn white. Change your name, Cash Patel. Go to the courthouse and make a name change. Get that Hapu shit up out of here. Motherfucking what's that shit? Dirtbag millionaire. No, what's they call that shit? What's that little movie with the Indian dudes and they don't want to be a millionaire? Whatever that shit. That's what Cash Patel come from. That old want to be a millionaire movie with the Indian people. He come from that shit. Oh, scumbag motherfucker. These people got the identities of anything a white person wanted to be. And that's the thing, you can't trust Cash Patel. Like, their minds are all fucked up. Yeah, that's what Cash Patel, Slumdog Millionaire. Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's exactly who he is. Thank you, Mark Summers. Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah. Harold and Kumar ass motherfucking FBI director. Trump talk all this immigration shit while bringing all these foreign agent immigrant motherfuckers in this country. For one, he come in, he got talking about his daddy. He got a reminiscent when he's talking about how old the country was. 200, no, he brought some shit about 100 and some years ago. Yeah, that's my daddy. My daddy was born around that time. Old Fred, my daddy, was such a good old daddy. I miss my daddy. My daddy met my little underage mama. That's where he learned that shit is. His daddy got his underage mama, start Crip Mac fucking her ass, and had little disgusting ass Donald. So that's where all this Epstein behavior come from. His daddy named Fred, who's a fucking immigrant offspring. What do they call immigrants? Baby seals or whatever they call them. He is a baby seal, is what Donald Trump is. His daddy is the firstborn little immigrant born to this motherfucking country because his dad was a Fred Trump, which is Trump's daddy's. No. This the other hidden agent shit. I would believe Trump in related to Hitler and all them and shit because their name was some other shit. I remember reading this shit. They got here and he had to blend in with these old redneck white folks because they redneck white folks didn't play all that immigrant shit. They didn't play that immigrant shit. So Trump and it wasn't fighting no wars and all that shit. So his daddy got here and flipped their name, gave him some old white name like this shit, took the Hitler off the name and shit. And then, so this is how they got here, but they all fucking immigrants. They new arrived, they ain't built shit. They ain't done a damn thing in this country but bring little fucking black plague bitches over to this country. They brought all their little rat ass whores fleeing the black plague that his little rats was spreading all throughout the UK and shit, getting niggas sick, people dying. That's how they killed the Indians off. Brought them old nasty bitches over here. The Indians can't control their dicks and went to fucking Donald Trump relatives, bitches like Melania. And them motherfuckers left with the 30-year itch. Them bitches is passing gonorrhea, chlamydia, the AIDS virus, and killing off our native brothers. Killing the indigenous. See, they want to blame it on coughs and all that shit. No, the Indians was fucking these bitches because the bitches thought they was black. That's what they thought. They knew it was darker than the motherfuckers coming over here, them stinking ass boats. The Indians was washing their ass and shit, so they thought they was black, and they was getting some of that funky ass clap. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And knocked our brothers off and then let these old Budweiser motherfuckers take hold. And that was the other thing, like when you look at them paint this picture of the 250th anniversary of America and all this other shit, true ass American people don't highlight that shit. Disgusting motherfuckers like Trump highlight that shit because the history of America is foul as fuck. The history of America is foul as fuck. And it ain't nothing to fucking highlight about what the vision of the founding people was and all this other shit. Because it is as foul as a Jewish experience that everybody cries about. It is as foul as a Armenian history that everybody cries fucking about. So I don't know what the fuck it is to highlight about how we went across, swept across, because what it was a path of fucking destruction and annihilating and extermination of people and animals, as well as the fucking planet. He's killing the motherfucking planet. They so destructive. And so I see many things through all of this shit. And then he goes, like I say, so he leads up with all this shit about the immigrants when that's what he comes from. And then he paints this negative picture of the illegals coming over here and doing all this other shit. When all of the threats on Donald Trump have been from white dudes, the blasting of Charlie Kirk has been from a white dude, and then now these same white dudes is fucking his wife. That's how disgusting these niggas is. They fucking that flat booty bitch. So I don't know what the fuck Trump is talking about in this shit. Then he goes into talking about because he couldn't give no real exact stories about the crimes they commit because white folks committing crimes. I was watching Columbine today, and I ain't seen no people jumping the border involving Columbine and shit. They're looking at the Boston Marathon shit. There's some people came over here from Europe. Like, so I don't know what Donald Trump is talking about. I was scratching my head like, where's he getting his figures? But one thing he never talked about was these kids and these fucking files. He never talked about this Epstein shit. And then this had to be like the longest State of Union in history. This State of Union is for like fucking like 2 goddamn hours. And all it turned into was a bullshit ass award show. A bullshit ass award show. Him wanting to give hockey motherfuckers some award. The hockey nigga don't even look like he from this country. I was looking at that shit like, how this hockey nigga on the USA team? This fool straight up Ukrainian in this shit. Man, come on, homie. The fool name ain't even married. I mean, at least change the fool name. And that's why I gotta look at the players on the USA hockey team, because they're not from this damn country. These fools was transported into this mug. And so he want to give all this little celebrating of these hockey motherfuckers, which nobody in America watch hockey. Nobody gives two shits about the USA hockey team. Nobody watched that game, but the degenerate, non-sports ever playing ass people like Trump and his fucking family and this old Hampu cricket playing idiot named Kash Patel. Nobody watches that bullshit. Nobody give a fuck about the gold them dummies won. But like I say, the dude he wants to give this damn award to does not look American at all. I want to look at the damn, I'm trying to find the damn hockey game. I want to find a hockey team because the nigga getting that award to don't look American. That fool look foreign than a motherfucker. And then let me go into this shit. Look at Mark Summers, because Mark Summers one of these motherfuckers as well. I want to pull up this shit I see on ESPN with one of these names. I ain't never in my life seen no goddamn white American with this goddamn name. What is this? Gore Riru. I ain't never seen no shit like that. None of these dudes look American. This Kash Patel nephew on the damn hockey team. But let's go into this shit. I gotta find the score on this team because I'm about to lay it thick. I like to talk that shit because I like to be always right about this shit. Let's talk about this shit because I make when white folks want to be offensive, I'm gonna make you cry without ever being racist about a damn thing. Just gonna spew out the fucking truth. Cause I'm a motherfucking kryptonite to a bigot. He says, yep, you sound like never will sound like a redneck. I sound like a motherfucker who tell the truth on Mark Summers looking motherfuckers who want to feel as if this is their country and they're gonna take it and all this other shit because other people allow that shit. But no, I'm gonna highlight it. So let me go into this shit. This fool is a goalie. Let me see. Let me go into these names on this damn team. Look at this shit. Always right with who? Your motherfucking boy, Reggie, goddamn, always speaking this goddamn truth. Mother effing Owens, god damn it. Always keeping it real. This is the USA hockey team. Bunch of motherfuckers who ain't from this goddamn country. Fuck what Trump talking about. Trump can eat a dick and die. Melania got one. But look at this shit. This fool ain't no goddamn American. Well, nobody in this chat can pronounce this shit. Not even Mark Summers, and he from this nigga country. This fool name is Gu Intazel. These motherfuckers, let's go down. Seen some of these other fools. This is can't even sell his name, Cook. He got a brother named to Cook. Trocheck. These motherfuckers, man, get them the fuck out of here. Get them the fuck out. These fools came over here in a trade with Putin. Putin traded these motherfuckers over here. Get the fuck out of here. And here go the damn goalie fool he want to get this award from. So tell me now, Mark Summers, because you niggas can't never prove me fucking wrong on nothing. This fool, like I said, I ain't even know none of these idiots. This motherfucker ain't even from this fucking country. Helen by yuck. Boot yuck. How the fuck you say this dumbass, ridiculous motherfucking name? And then they Connor Bullyuck. How you say that? By cook. Yuck. Cook. Yeah, shit. Only Putin and them niggas know that shit. These niggas from the red motherfucking army. And this disgusting piece of shit talking about giving him the highest award for blocking a goal. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody in this motherfucker watch no goddamn hockey. Nobody watch that shit but the weakest non-athletic motherfuckers in this damn country that watch that stupid ass shit. These fools with these kind of names come over here and enter this country, and then we get scumbags that want to prop these. Come on, homie. Come on. I could go on and on and on about this shit. I can go on and on about this shit. Always right in this motherfucker. This fool is a despicable ass dude. This president ain't shit but a simpleton motherfucker. Man, get Trump up out of here, homie. That's the thing gonna happen. So this is probably his last. What is the thing he just did? This is probably the last goddamn State of the Union he gonna ever do, because it won't be a second one. He'll be out of here. But like I said, these fools ain't even from this country. yuck and chuck and shuck and buck. Get the fuck out of here. Fools talking about some goddamn Americans. So he want to give these. So the like I said, this damn State of Union turned into some old funky ass award show. He want to give 100-year-old motherfuckers Medal of Honor. Get the fuck out of here. There's a reason them niggas didn't get that shit. They get a 100-year-old motherfucker Medal of Honor. He gets some other 100-year-old motherfucker some stupid ass award. Then he get a fool an award for saving the girls at that Texas camp where the damn counselors was too dumb to evacuate the little girls, and a bunch of them lost their lives. And then Trump talking about there was a Air Force search and rescue guy in a helicopter, and nobody saw where he came from. Dummy, it's a helicopter making all that motherfucking noise up there. And then Trump lied and shit. This dude's a sales person. And that's why he can lie with a straight face, because he is a salesman. He is a salesman, meaning lying is what they fucking do. Is what people like Trump do. He will talk about this dude rescued 160 something people. Yeah, fucking right. But yeah, what's her name? Manny, and a bunch of her fellow campers were stuck in 25 feet in a rapids. They'd never seen rapids like this before. He always oversells shit. And they'd never seen where this guy was coming. He just came out of nowhere. It's a big, loud-ass Black Hawk up in the fucking air that they all hear and probably waving their hands, get me, because they stupid-ass counselors refused to evacuate a camp to where they were warned about heavy rains. And then he gave out some other stupid ass awards. He blamed a trucker for some damn accident, like it ain't a bunch of trucks crashing from a bunch of white folks high on methamphetamines and all the other shit. And then talking about meth, this nigga got the clowning about the people they killed. Woo, I like this fool is a heartless little dirtbag motherfucker. He like, man, we done ruined they damn fishing. They afraid. He talking about, man, I was like, damn, this nigga's a dirtbag. He was like, yeah, we out there killing them narco boat terrorists, and even their fishing. Even the people are afraid to fish. We done ruined their whole fishing industry. He's like, he laughed about this shit. I said, this is a heartless, and you expect me to show sympathy and empathy for Trump? You got to be a fucking degenerate little knee-walking idiot. You think I'm going to ever speak nicely of an old vicious piece of shit like this punk named Donald fucking Trump? One of the most worthless human beings to ever be pushed out of a whore's body. One of the worst, nastiest motherfuckers a whore has ever pushed out of her fucking black plagued motherfucking body is this motherfucker. To me, yeah, we're killing them people and they're afraid to fish. They don't even want to fish. We're starving them. And then guess what? Our new friends, Venezuela, gave us 800,000 barrels. I'm thinking, I'm like, this motherfucker is crazy. This fool crazy. Yeah, they just handed it over to it. I don't even know what. Like, oh, shit. That motherfucker is wow, homie. What else I get from this worthless ass goddamn award show of worthlessness? What was the other shit? And I love how the Ethiopian girl lady went off on that hoe. I don't know if she Ethiopian. No, she's Somali. She was going off on this whole ass punk because he got on some real racist ass shit and start calling out the Somali people and all this other shit. And then want to bring up that damn Ukrainian girl got stabbed on the train and shit. The fuck you talking about? This lady don't belong over here, fool. The fuck this punk talking about? But would talk immigration in the same breath. Oh, I forgot. He's a white fucking punk ass president who believes in bringing European immigrants over here when they lose land that they stole from an African country and shit. Talk this, and then he brings up the Christianity shit. And the driver, I tell y'all motherfuckers about this religion shit. I be telling people about this religious shit. That religion ain't your religion. You get some little simple-minded, slow-ass, low in the brain cell-ass black people that want to defend their version of Christianity. These some sick motherfuckers. They don't believe in God. Because if they believed in God, then their churches will be condemning a lot of the shit they do. A real Christian would never laugh about bombing motherfuckers with military equipment in the middle of the ocean. Never brag about killing people. And then narco terrorists and fentanyl coming in here poisoning white kids. But ain't China the one that they say is producing this shit? And I wonder why we ain't doing shit to China. Because Trump knows his fucking place. He knows his place. But we want the Epstein file. We can get two fucks about that State of the Union. That State of the Union blew up in this dummy's face. Nobody's going to remember that shit. It was nothing memorable. Then he's talking about how much he's saving Americans and this and that. This is the greatest economy ever, and we're making all this money. And so he did that early into the early stages of this damn simple-minded ass presentation. They didn't try to lay it out for him, but he never sticks to the script. Then he flipped out on the Democrats messed up affordability. They have created this new word. As soon as I step in the office, they made up a word that's come out of nowhere. Affordability. Affordability been around before I was living. Affordability was around when Trump was living. But except Trump and them didn't want people having affordable fucking residency and the shit they was building off of government money. Because the government helped fund and place money into Trump's daddy's fucking pockets, and he rolls the shit over all of his connections to help make him rich because poor people are too stupid and vote against their own interest. So this motherfucker talks about how much he's saving the economy and everything's turning around and we're cutting back on this. Then he gets to flipping on the Democrats because everything ain't affordable. I was like, who wrote this stupid ass speech, or did he go off a script? Because you can't be flipping on them about affordability just being made up and they fucked everything up and you can't get it down. And they like, come on, homie. None of that shit makes sense at all. Then he gets to talk about these Trump accounts that nobody wants. And then other private donors are funding this damn Trump fund. So how does a Trump fund work? Or is a Trump fund some old bullshit, shyster ass 401k system that they will fucking rob and pull the money out of because it's probably some risky shit that is meant to tease people. Here's $1,000 for you. You can't pull it out. You have to allow it to mature. And then by the time your kid turned 18, all the money is out of it. I collapsed. You missed it. Oh, shit. Your kid became 18 too late. They became 18 way too late. It's over with. That a billionaire motherfucker is just throwing money in just because, like, get the fuck out of here. I was watching some shit with this degenerate motherfucker where he talking about building some old sky rise out there in Australia and shit. And then even was talking about when the 100-year-old dude got the Medal of Honor, how he wanted to get one for his goddamn self. A draft dodging peon talking about himself getting a Medal of fucking Honor. For what? Being a bitch? Get the fuck out of here. Let me be president. I'm going to give Trump a bitch award. Get that nigga a bitch award, homie. The fucking scumbag. Like I said, your life done been attempted by 3 Barron Trump-looking motherfuckers. Charlie Kirk, life was taken by Charlie Kirk-looking motherfucker, all while Charlie Kirk is talking ill shit about black people. You can't make this shit. It's God sent by a real God or a real Jesus that sent that shit. Not that fake Christian shit that Trump and them talk, devil worshiping shit that leads them to want to build and develop bonds. These niggas talking about Christianity and shit. Same niggas come from Christian nations that have slaughtered motherfuckers. Same Christian motherfuckers that have gone and invaded nations. And nowhere is it one of these old righteous ass peace preachers, pastors, or rabbis within their fucking countries to condemn that shit, to talk to their leaders, to do none of that shit. But to send their little fucking saints to go sanctify poor, undefended fucking nations. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's why I say, don't talk religion shit to me. Don't come with your version of Europeanized Christianity. I can fuck with black Christianity and the Muslim beliefs, but I still didn't want to learn that shit. Don't fuck with religion at all, because I don't believe they believe in none of that shit. They sit there and talk in the motherfucking temples. They don't believe none of that shit. Even when you look at during like World War I, World War II, it was nothing that even the Roman church can say to the motherfuckers, that sick-minded ass leaders of them countries that push that shit. Same churches that have always slaughtered motherfuckers. Same church that in the 21st century have done Epstein shit to kids and have done nothing to the rabbis. That I don't even think, I think the church had a situation to where I don't even think them fools got such a, I don't know what the damn rule been written for these fools, that even when that church shit was going on, that they couldn't even arrest them damn pastor, them what do they call them fools in the Catholic Church, priests? Like I told y'all stories before, I knew something was wrong with the Catholic Church when I had to go work at one of these motherfuckers, and I told them to get me the fuck up out of there. And then bam, what happens later? About 2 years later, the big ass scandal comes up out of that church. And then what comes up after that shit? Penn State. Is Penn State old Catholic church ass school? You got Sandusky and Joe Paterno and them doing Epstein shit. Donald Trump was probably enrolled at that motherfucker. He was going there too. Sandusky looked like Donald Trump. These motherfuckers is sick. And Trump talking Christianity and the nigga, get the fuck out of here. Take that shit back to Germany, homie. And then Picasso in the bill. Let me say what's up to y'all, because I still got more to kick this little hoe ass president in his motherfucking ass before they impeach his pussy ass. Because that's his last State of the fucking Union. It's over with for that boy. And you Trump lovers gonna be like, what happened to that boy? What happened to that boy? Picasso says, salute everyone in the rolling. I know Box in the building, salute Rob G in the rolling. Velicica says, I never heard so much cap in my life. Shaking my head. Says that was some real Monkey Tuesday shit. Some Monkey Tuesday shit. You know, the most Monkey Tuesday shit I heard. I was listening to some of the because Dom be sending me this shit about Drew and them going live, and then I seen sports prediction going in on Drew ass. This nigga is jealous of fucking showbiz. I was like, man, these are some degenerate ass black motherfuckers who fake like they represent the people. All white talking boxing and jealous of another black dude for making it. Like these fools lost their damn fake black ass minds. Mark Summers, who's a white guy on here who's crying in his motherfucking keyboard as he heard me talk about an immigrant just like himself named Donald Trump. Melania's little side piece. Melania's what they call them shit, my old motherfucker, Melania's sugar daddy. And then Mark Summers said, laugh out loud, says they ain't learning that shit. So they ain't learning that shit from ghetto blacks. And then Axis says LA Black says are too revolutionary for niggas from says from the South to understand. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. The LA and even up in Northern California has produced a lot of revolutionary ass black folks, as well as just the large cities. The large cities have, but a lot of these young cats don't know that shit. They have lost their ways because they become drug addicts and skinny jean pants sagging motherfuckers. And then Arnold Boxer says the Mark Summers says you just can't stop yourself, says from being racist, huh? Says so when we start clowning your white ass, says so when we start clowning your what is YTS? Start clowning you, says you what is YTS? Says you're gonna cry victim. Oh no, go in on Mark Summers. Man, that's what Mark Summers in here. He like to be kicked. He a whipping boy. It's a little weird, little nasty ass shit that go on in this goddamn community he come from. And CJ sent me some shit, and I think Mark Summers is at this concert. There's a concert where a fool is at. They got a concert with some old metal type shit, and the motherfucker is in some like alien costume, and they in there jerked the alien off, and he busting a nut on the whole crowd. They done made up some damn white cream from the alien, busting on a crowd of white folks that was enjoying this alien looking creature doing that shit to him. That's the type of shit that Mark Summers goes to. Only people from Mark Summers' community can get down with shit like that. You motherfuckers is weird. And then you'll go to church on Sunday with snakes in your hand, praising the old Jesus and all that shit. Motherfuckers weird. We follow religion from these stupid motherfuckers. Niggas be in the church dancing with rattlesnakes and cobras and shit. In a trance. You some stupid motherfuckers. And then motherfucking, what y'all do for communion? Pass around a motherfucking can of Budweiser and shit. And then and Agoff Twitter says there were 11.6 million viewers on Fox News last year for the Trump State of Union. Says there were 5.7 million viewers, says on Fox News, says this year for his State of Union. Says interesting. He is losing support. Nobody cares about this motherfucker. I was listening to the Midas Touch. They were talking about that they were the #1 viewed State of Union coverage, and they didn't even cover the State of Union. They did their own shit, and they had more people following that shit than the mainstream media platforms. Nobody's listening to Trump. It's the same regurgitated shit. Well, we got the greatest economy ever seen in history. Nobody believes that shit. He couldn't talk about shit that was a positive from what he has done, and that's why he started doing this award ceremony bullshit. Giving people stupid ass awards. This nigga don't know what the fuck he doing. This dumb shit with tariffs. Don't know what the fuck he's doing. Talking about they done created the most jobs. He ain't create shit. Talking about how he done cut away these government jobs. That shit ain't done nothing for nothing. Talking about how he done led all these millions of people away from SNAP. No, you didn't. You cut the motherfuckers off. You ain't leaving nobody from nothing. Ain't no jobs for these motherfuckers. The fuck out of here, peon ass dude. Then he coming out with all these fake ass unemployment numbers, fake ass inflation numbers, fake ass job growth numbers. Because guess what? He has gotten rid of the true collection of data because he's been firing motherfuckers, and these fools in fear of their life, and they gonna do whatever Trump wants them to do, or else he cuts the water off from them. AK, he fires. He thinks this is the apprentice. And then Mark Summers talking about the Slumdog Millionaire, which is Hapu Patel, little slurpy machine making motherfucking Patel and shit. Somebody got a job in Trump as the FBI director. Motherfucker ain't nothing but a trick who flies bitches around the FBI plane. They just wasted money, homie. They are pimping the fuck out of America. They don't give two fucks about America. And it's simple as that. He can do all that fake dog whistling shit because he thinks it's going to work for them supporters that have finally woken up and left him with they stupid trailer parking asses and talking about the government. Function of the government is to ensure they work for the citizens and not immigrants. Did anybody go look in the Trump household? His bitch is a fucking immigrant. The whore can't even speak English. And I think he thought the bitch got some goddamn education plan. He picked a stupid bitch to run some education plan talking about some AI shit. What's that other motherfucker fucking Charlie Kirk wife? That motherfucker wife is Cash Patel's sister. She ain't from this motherfucker. Cash Patel ain't from this motherfucker. Who else ain't? Even that motherfucker, the other first racist when Obama was in there, the Congress dude dying like a motherfucker. He dying a fucked up death. What's his name? What's the fool out of Kentucky? McConnell. He couldn't even find a regular white bitch. He married one of them bitches that love coming over here getting citizenship from old wrinkled ass white dudes and shit. I think his wife is Connie. He married to Connie Chung. Who married Connie? No, Maury Povich was. He married to a chick like that. Y'all remember Connie Chung and shit? So who was married to Connie? I think Maury Povich married Connie Chung. And then Axis says Harold Kumar. And then Mark Summers says, this man said Harold Kumar, but lots of cuts in it rolling. And then Axis says Trump mother is from Scotland, says a product of European, miscegenation. Yeah, his mother disgusting. You know her pussy was just on fire. She came over here killing the Indians. That's how they came over with the way they won the Indian War. They brought them bitches up over here, and them bitches got immediately hot. But that's like a double hot. Them bitches can burn still. Them bitches get hot. They thought the Indians was black, seeing how dark they was, and she already got a damn venereal disease. So a hot, oh, hot pocket bitches coming over here spreading disease. Them Indians are dropping. No doctors, no motherfucking cure. Because the Indians that had that shit, Indians had clean bitches and shit. They're washing this clean water over here. There ain't no motherfucking pollution in the water. All the streams in America was clean. All of America water was clean and shit. And then when these motherfuckers came over here, the water had fucking algae, fish was dying and shit. That's why we eat pig and shit in this motherfucker. These things don't know how to function. It is alien-like. Motherfucking aliens and shit. And then Axel says, you mean, yeah, that's what it was. I call them seals. That's what Trump is. Trump and his daddy are fucking anchor babies. That's what they are. That Fred Hitler Trump motherfucker was an anchor baby. And America was setting up a system for the arrival of fucking Europeans. And then that's why so many of these people with no history in this country can highlight what America was and what we went across and we built this beautiful. No, you can't highlight it like that. America has a disgusting history to it. And America has to push out Trump-minded motherfuckers, and we have to start being real, true, and honest as shit. We can't hide history. We can't do none of these shits. That little foreign little pussies like the nigga out of Florida, DeSantos in them talk, Mark Rubio bitch ass, who ain't nothing but traitors and sellouts. These motherfuckers can become white over fucking night. And then when that shit fails, they go back to being Indian, Latino, and Latino again, and all this other little bullshit. They can spray little slick ass move, put whatever style that looks like Trump head until they start letting their shit go kinky once the plans fall apart. That's what all these weak ass bitches do. Now I was looking at the story on the Talib Patash or whatever they do in the Ottoman Empire with slaughtering the Armenians and shit. And I was looking at the way his demise ended. He was smoked because they lost the war. And the Ottoman Empire falls apart. And guess what happens? These bitch ass people run and flee over to other countries. They track that bitch down. He changed his look, try to blend in with the German society. They had people on his ass, and he ain't even knowing. He lived for like 3 years. After 3 years after he get out of power, Armenian dude tracked him down. Guess what he did? He put a hot one in that bitch head. Put a hot one in him. And it was over with. Simple as that. And that was justice for the millions of people that fool had annihilated. And guess what they did with the assassin? He was not guilty. Simple as that. Like, it's some bitch-made people on this planet. Like, you don't highlight what America was and paint these little whitewashed ass fake narratives of what American history was and how we moved across the West, because you leave out the part about the slaughtering and the removal of people from their motherfucking land. Like, get the fuck out of here. The enslavement of people in this land, why the laziness of Europeans are allowed to come here and occupy this land. Like true ass fucking crumb snatching aliens. Why we and then black people play into this shit about other immigrant groups, especially the ones who are attached to this fucking continent, but say nothing to people who got to cross a fucking ocean to get over here. Like I say, that's why I'm glad I never follow motherfuckers. I don't listen to people. I stay with educated shit. If it's right, I'll follow it and I'll listen to it. But when it's conspiracy, made up shit that just feels good to soothe niggas who lack pride, I don't listen to none of that shit. The truth is the truth, whether it's been one of where you're on the losing side of that shit and it hurts. But to be black, nigga, you better take pride in that shit, because on the other end, blacks slaughtered motherfuckers. And the reason why Trump can't do shit to us. And that nigga hates our fucking guts. Hates a black motherfucker's guts. But guess what? He got no history in this motherfucker. And he can't change shit. Because when it was time to nut up, black people nut up. But guess what? You don't get fed about the truth of this shit. You don't get that shit in the history. And that's the other thing why when Terrence Bailey come, or why with his family history is so important. And the thing with Frederick Douglass and all that shit, that a lot of y'all, when y'all see Terrence Bailey come in, y'all may see he be clowning all that shit, this and that, or we be doing what we talking shit and all that shit. But he is a descendant of Frederick Douglass. And the reason why you bring up, we clown and bring up Umar, he can't stand that nigga. But he comes from a lineage, something that ties into history, and he knows that history. One day we'll get him on here to lay out a lot of that history. People need to pay attention to that shit. And the Civil War, the narrative needs to be taught about the Civil War and the heroism of black folks during that fucking war, and how we stumped Confederate motherfuckers the fuck out and beat the motherfuckers up. That's why the South, as they talk about rise, has to be the rise of black people in that motherfucker. Not no rise of no white motherfuckers in no fucking South. The South occupied by a bunch of German motherfuckers. South occupied by a bunch of German ass motherfuckers. That's just like, I'm gonna go back to the story I done told a couple of times back when I'm in the army, and I remember telling the white dude, I see him posting all this shit. Because when we out in the field and shit, we still gotta pull perimeter guards and all that shit, and people on night watch and all that shit. So I'm on night watch. I go tap this motherfucker in. He on watch. You wake a person up like 10 minutes before they do that. They gotta get dressed. They gotta man the radios and all this other shit. And so when I'm going over to his tank, and mine is fucking, I think we pull like an hour, maybe 2 hours each. It's probably like 4 in the morning. No. It's probably like 2 in the morning. And it's pitch black in that motherfucker. But we had lined up in squads and covered fucking like 360 perimeter with our tanks. I gotta go tap him and shit, wake him up. So I'm walking to his tank. This motherfucker like 21 years old or some shit. Young dude, might have been 20. And we all young, because I'm young as fuck too. I didn't turn. Matter of fact, I didn't even turn. I was out before I turned 21. I was out the military before I turned 21. So that's how young I was when I went in. I went in at 17. Got out at right before I turned 21 in that mug. So, and that's over. Well, I've been out more than 24 years now. So fucking when I go over to this pussy ass motherfucking tank, he got this bullshit. He used to play like he was Christian. The nigga didn't cuss. He didn't do none of this shit. He a little just weird ass dude. Looked like he ain't been around people. Always looked kind of uneasy about shit, nervous. The white cats he'd hang around used to try to get him to cuss. He wouldn't use a cuss word, and he always talked to God bullshit. So when I'm going to wake him up, he already up. I see the little dim little, because we don't use bright lights. We use like little color like dim red lights and all that shit. So that way enemies can't spot you from a distance, all that shit. On the fucking front slope of the damn tank, because he in the driver's hole, he got all this shit set up with little placards and shit on the front slope and some shit. I see the Confederate flag on that shit, and the South will rise. I'm a West Coast motherfucker. I don't know all this Southern shit and how white folks be feeling about that Civil War shit. Because when I was in Kentucky, used to see at one of them fields, we was driving to Patton Museum. They had a damn Civil War reenactment in one of them damn field areas out there that white folks be finding interest in and shit. But so when I walk over, this nigga got this shit. I said, and I immediately get mad because I didn't like little Southern white folks like that. I did not. That's why I used to get a lot of my trouble in the army was over me checking the motherfuckers. I did not like them. And a lot of people used to be, that's why niggas used to call me Farrakhan as a joke. They used to be like, I'm tripping. And then but now looking 2026 and all this other shit beyond that, always right with motherfucking Reggie Owens stands firm than a motherfucker. So back to this shit. So when I see that shit, I said, nigga, it's your fucking duty. And I said, the South ain't never gonna rise. Fuck y'all. And walk off like, bitch, nigga, fuck the South. And then that left ass shit at that. Why motherfucking months later, this motherfucker gets in the biggest of fucking trouble. He go to cause his wife, mine, they from a little whatever rinky dink town. They like they bitches just looking sloppy and nasty, like Trump and the mama in them used to look. And then so his wife got a job. She working at like Walmart. Cause in the military, you don't make a bunch of money and shit. His wife working at like the clean Walmart and shit. And so when his wife working there, probably with black chicks and Latina chicks and all that other shit, she picking up on their style of beauty and picking up other shit that she didn't get from this town she from. And so he started gaining insecurities that his wife is wearing makeup, she getting her hair done, she probably getting her nails done, she dressing a little bit sexier than what he likes, but it's driving up these insecurities. And so he feeling that this chick having an affair. Who knows? Because a lot of military wives be getting fucked, homie. That's another reason why I never was in that marriage shit. Because you talking about fucking wives and shit, go to the military base. Them bitches be throwing pussy the fuck around. You talking about Chris Brown wrote that motherfucking ain't loyal shit for military bitches. So this motherfucker go to his wife's job and slaps the fuck out of her. Baya! Right in motherfucking the store and shit. The wife panicked, run to her managers, and they called the unit. And was like, she was scared he was going to come back and shoot the place up because they would come out because them loudmouth sergeants is how we know all this shit. Niggas do all this shit. They tell everybody fucking business. So them motherfuckers, when this shit happened, was like, because he ended up being removed from his house. They had to confiscate a bunch of weapons from his house, guns and knives. This is where he get all that South Arise shit. He waiting for some whatever the war, revolution and shit to pop off and all this other punk shit they teach these type of people. And so they was like, man, this motherfucker has so many guns at his house and all this other shit, knives and shit. Because the wife was like, every time they got paid, he was down there buying a weapon and shit. They got two hands and buying all these guns because they cowards, pussy made motherfuckers. And then you get whites that take Trump to get in here. They want to spew out racist shit and act tough again. They go silent, then they wake up when some old pussy ass nigga come in the White House that ain't about shit. The fuck out of here. And he said, I sound like a redneck. Nah, I'm just talking to you about a redneck. So if I'm talking to you about a redneck, that means you saying Trump sounds like a redneck. Glad I can wake you up. Always right in this motherfucker. Never wrong. Only you are. And then and Picasso says if this live was a Tekken game, says Reggie, you pulled out the cheat code. Says you pulled out the cheat code on Trump and finished him. Says Mortal Kombat says, get over here, finish him. Game over. Trump looks like a vampire. I gotta keep kicking Trump in his motherfucking ass. And then he says, yep, you sound like a redneck. Says you just babbling. Says you could have just Googled where they're from instead of some ignorant. No, you mad because of what I said about them hockey players and the fact that it turned out to be true with these hockey players. And then when they show where these hockey players, if you go into where they from, I guarantee they're from where most of the immigrants go, the Midwest, Detroit, Ohio. Where else they go up there? Some of them going to Milwaukee. They got to go where it's a bunch of snow and shit. This is why they go and play hockey. The fuck out of here, Mark Summoners. I'm surprised you ain't. Oh, well, y'all get snow in New Jersey, but you ain't get ice hockey snow in New Jersey. And then Picasso says Trump whole speech says be really about Obama. He didn't really go into Obama too much tonight. It was really about nothing. He really didn't talk about shit. Or what he has done. He just made up a bunch of babbling shit and then turned into being a racist. He got into some real racist shit, especially about the Somalis, about immigrants from South America, not the white immigrants, but all these other immigrants being murderers and shit. Then he said some of the dumbest shit ever. As he got to speaking about how he cleaned up fucking Washington, D.C., but he didn't want to talk about how his agents that he has cut many loopholes, got them violating the Constitution and killing white people out there in Minnesota and shit. But want to lie about all this money that the motherfucking Somalis still in Minnesota, which he still ain't proved none of that shit. But he talked about how DC is almost 100% crime free. But then he go into another award he want to give out. He immediately goes in, this how bad this motherfucker's a liar. About there, we have eliminated murder. There have been no murders in DC. But then he goes to present an award to them National Guard motherfuckers that got smoked. And he said, but it was a Afghanistani who was in this country who Biden them let in here. But I thought you cleaned up Washington, D.C., and the people supposed to guard in Washington, D.C., they get smoked. And then now all you got to do is present the nigga with an award and talk about the girl that's dead. And they want to describe this shit all graphically, how she got shot in her head and shit. Like, this is a stupid ass president, homie, who just says shit to be saying it because he's stupid as fuck. That nigga talking about DC was crime free, but National Guard people got shot. It's fucking how retarded and dumb this dude is. Then wants to talk about how the black dude, remember they try to make it political and really want to make it racial about the Ukrainian girl that got killed. That Ukrainian girl should have been in Ukraine. And if anything, she should have been closer to a European country near Ukraine rather than y'all bringing her to America. And then having that shit, you want to blame it on a liberal judge who let a monster out and all this other shit. Ain't got shit to do with any of that shit. You motherfuckers been going to Epstein's homes and islands and shit and doing all that shit you used to do to Melania to other fucking girls, Trump. Like I said, Melania needs somebody to bust her in her ass and bust her in their coochie. Do it how Crick Matt be talking about doing the sluts. A big, but Melania ain't a big booty sitch. She's a big iron board sitch. That's what we need. We need a little skinny, iron, flat booty sitch like Melania. That's on a set. We need a sitch like Melania. Melania, good old whore. And then Mark Summers says you should stop speaking about religion. Says you're too ignorant. Says stick to telling personal stories. Now I'm gonna talk about your little funky ass religion that granny and granddaddy done taught your little wicked ass. While y'all be Christianity and you muggers in the motherfucking rooms plotting to blow up the school and shit. The fuck out of here. And what you go get a prayer from the goddamn priest and shit? Fuck out of here, degenerate. I'm gonna talk about your religion all day because y'all don't believe in none of these gods and Jesuses y'all talk about. Niggas is too wicked. And then Bocce Sparring says, what's good, man? Says the bus driver says is going in on you. Says on his Rumble channel earlier today. What'd he say? He said that pussy be in his feelings, says when it comes to you. Says he probably still waiting for you to call him. Man, what did he say? Boxing Sparring, man. Tell me what the fools say. And then Mark Summers says the most revolutionary black says we're from the South. Nah. No, they weren't. And then, but I don't take nothing from blacks in the South. I ain't gonna take nothing and split shit with blacks and none of that shit. Ain't dare about to do that. And then Mark Summers says, not LA, laugh out loud. And then Mark Summers says, you don't even know your own history. Mark Summers, your history ain't in America, you damn flea bag. And then you damn welfare recipient, stealing all this damn welfare from this country. And he says YTS is white. And then Mark Summers says, don't know American history. Man, I'm an expert in American history. And the thing, when I tell American history, I keep it funky. I don't teach watered down American history. Don't teach it to my kids, none of that shit. We teach true American unapologetic history, even unapologetic black history. And then Matthew, what is that? Says Matthew Ward Ronaldo says, the Mark Summers says, what do you know about American history? Mark Summers don't know shit about American history because Mark Summers is a new arrival. He's a fucking European immigrant. He just got to America. Not his grandparents. His grandma and grandfather can't even speak English. And then Matthew says, Midas had the people State of the Union. And I love that the Midas Touch did. I like the work the Midas Touch is doing. I like what Midas Touch is doing. He says, says he always says he lifted people off a snap, says, but he kicked them off, says, and half of them are kids, says, and then he's claiming Christianity, laugh out loud. Christianity has become the biggest fucking joke when it comes to, I never rock with that shit. especially as a black person. Like, that shit comes from black people being forced into that shit through slavery. And then you get white folks that teach that shit while they can sit on plantation, own motherfuckers, beat motherfuckers, and then go to church on Sunday. And then be part of the same system that can develop bombs, drop shit on people, nuke motherfuckers, and then tell everybody else in the world what they can't have, but they allow other white nations to have it. Like, hell fucking up. Go to countries, steal resources, slaughter their people, and then go to church on Sunday claiming this Christianity shit and then want to spread it to other nations. Like, that's some of the most sick-minded shit ever. And then I hope people abolish religion from their lives and shit, especially when it's taught from these motherfuckers. That's why some people move more towards spirituality, because they have the same sentiments towards religion that I have, but a lot of people are afraid to speak that shit. And then you get some ignorant, low-level, shallow-minded people that will fucking think that, oh, you're an atheist and all that other shit. Nah, they're not no atheists. You motherfuckers just fail to fucking think. You're too busy taking what is forced upon you by people like I said, I don't think they even believe in this God that they tell you about, that you have a deep spiritual fucking connection with. And you know who God is. And that's why so many people have learned religion from these people, and why black people act so fucking lost and devilish than a motherfucker. Because of this shit. Because of the confusion that these people religion have brought to them and shit. What's up, Steph? And that is the fucking facts of this shit. And then Matthew says Erica Kirk, Erica, old bent, flat booty ass Kirk over there getting boned out throughout the White House. She a toss up. Erica Kirk is a Washington toss up. And then Matthew says Matthew McConnell's wife looks Chinese. Yeah, that's why I thought she was Connie Chung. He says in Europe they had incest. Says in the royalty, says, but the Native Americans knew not to do that, says because they were aware of birth defects. Yeah, the natives was clean. This whole country was clean. The air was pure. The water was clean. They didn't deal with toxins in the water. They didn't deal with the sickening, the diseases of animals. None of that shit. Many continents didn't deal with that shit. Europeans start getting out of Europe after fucking the country over, experimenting with shit, touching shit inside of elements they working on and all this other shit to try to find advantages, because they couldn't do shit the human way. And with they wanting power and seeking dominance over people, they couldn't do it this way. So therefore, they got to look into the rocks and stones, find minerals, see if this shit'll blow up, blow themselves the fuck up. Let the next motherfucker try to figure out how to put it in something and put it over there to blow it up. And they was just fucking their country up, destroying it, poisoning each other. Then they come over here and they nasty bitches was getting niggas sick. And then Matthew says Marco Rubio is trying to cash a check, says with the devil, says trying to cash a check with the devil, says, and he's going to be surprised when it bounce. Oh yeah, I can't wait till the way Marco Rubio go out. Marco Rubio gonna be begging and pleading, crying and pleading for forgiveness. And then the way in which humans need to be, especially Americans need to be, is not to be forgiving to people, especially when people are pieces of shit. That forgiveness shit needs to die out from people. You can go and you just got to meet your fate, motherfucker. You just can't do it. And the Europeans have done that shit throughout history. Can go in here and do atrocious shit, and then they abandon shit, go somewhere else, create a new motherfucking identity and shit. And then, because I was looking at this shit with the, like I said, I love watching educational shit. Niggas stay on educational shit, and why I can talk this educational shit. I'm watching this shit about Hitler and them. They were speaking about, because there's a lot of things people forget with World War II, and they never ask these questions. About, you ask questions, what happened in Germany. Like I said, I knew this older lady who was a teenager during the fall of the Nazi regime and shit, and her father being in on that shit. And then about how even with them, they moved to fucking America, and then they fucking try to hide who they are. Her father died over there. She married an American soldier who was a trick, wasn't getting laid, found this German chick who needed the way out of there. They suffering. She's talking about how the soldiers be smoking cigarettes. All the girls be running to go get cigarettes. GIs dropped on the ground. And if they had candy and they run into their fathers, her father ended up being an angry dude, just depressed. They end up being poor as fuck, just having nothing. But I was watching the thing on the family of Hitler. Like Hitler had a relative who served in the American Navy. These fools is changing their names, hiding their identity. Hitler is a scumbag, fucking his own fucking niece and shit. Like, the motherfucker's a piece of shit. Even Braun, an underage broad. Like, come on. And these are motherfuckers people follow. And they wonder why these niggas protect Epstein and shit. It's been going on for fucking centuries with these fools. These Christians. Fuck out of here. And then Picasso says, Red says you're gonna make a Manchurian Candidate movie, says about your military career. It says Fred can be the lead director. Man, I can direct my own movie, man. I'll be wishing I just had the time and the talent of writing a book. I would love to try to write a book, or even I would love to do a movie. You know, in my mind, I have these visions of creating like a hood movie, man, where it goes through the, you know, the triumphs, the falls, just all these stories of of some hood movie, almost like a Boys in the Hood type movie. And not just having a single lead character, but having a character of, like, you know how you grow up with your homies and your friends and the different paths that people go down. It shouldn't be just the one lead character in it. Like, nothing's better than our stories, man, our experiences and shit, especially being in LA, motherfucker. Boxer Sparring says these LDC fuck boys losing their minds, says because the king of trolling, Ryan Garcia, won the title on Saturday night. Says they be giving me a good old laugh, says every morning, says on my drive to work, says with their trash. Them fools delusional, they'd be crazy. They regurgitate the same kind of talk. I'd be like, damn, dude, these old ass niggas even think. And then Auto Boxing says ain't nothing wrong with buying straps. Says I encourage all brothers and sisters to buy them. Man, I encourage all brothers and sisters just buy what you need. Cause buying a bunch of guns for what? How many arms you got? What, you a fucking octopus? Niggas all, and even the dummies who are into guns and buy all the motherfuckers don't do nothing but collect dust and they die. The motherfuckers just sit in their house. Niggas who buy guns end up start going through psychotic shit. Niggas start losing their minds, become paranoid. They start getting into buying all that gun shit. And then they still get smoked by some old young wild ass kid off the streets. You don't need all them motherfucking guns and shit. You ain't going in on no mission. You ain't on no no military orders and shit. Going in close combat related shit. More like you gonna probably shoot a motherfucker trying to go into your house, a motherfucker you get in a dispute with on the streets. How many guns you gonna pull out? Now, unless you plan to get in a shootout with a motherfucker, then yeah, have a bunch of guns. But guess what? You still gonna only be able to use one. If you want to be Clint Eastwood, you can try to use two. So all that extra out gun buying shit is from people and paranoids who buy into these stupid ass beliefs, get a bunch of paranoid drunk addicts who buying them in. The government coming to invade us, and they're going to invade, and we need to be prepared, and the blacks going to rise up against us. We need to prepare against the blacks, and all this other. Everybody just like psychotic as fuck. We deal with real psychotic issues in this country, and that's their main reason to have a gun, because you're dealing with psychotic people that you got to treat like a zombie and put one in their fucking brain. And then Matthew says the crime rates were already trending down, says before Trump took office again, says, but he's trying to take credit for it. Says and that open border thing is a myth. Says I live on the border. I live on the border in Texas. Says it's been closed for decades. Trump had just lied to make himself feel good and try to talk to people with no information on shit. And even they're not believing it anymore. They're not believing a damn thing Trump talks about anymore. And people are tired of hearing it. It's the same old sad lying ass story from that salesman. Mark Summers says you shouldn't be teaching anyone. Says you too dumb. Mark Summers, you be over here learning everything that you hear me talk on these live streams, and you staying here the whole time. Now, for people who suffer from cognitive dissonance and all that shit, which is a word that I made popular on the internet, that you see all these niggas be regurgitating the use of the word cognitive dissonant. Like, I was tripping the first time I started hearing niggas, especially in the boxing community, start using that shit. Because that's when I used to be a part of on Dante's Boxing Nation, And I used to talk about that shit with these fans who never want to buy in the truth of shit, suffer from cognitive dissonance. Niggas was like impressed with hearing that word. But that's what this nigga Mark Summers suffered from. It's cognitive dissonance like a motherfucker from everything you hear me speak about. From that religious bullshit that his parents and grandparents taught his ass, to about his own history, his own arrival to this motherfucker. And he don't know shit about his own self, and he don't know nothing about goddamn history. Autobot says, I'm nice with my hands, but fingers can't be bullets. But that's why you can defeat person with one gun, two guns. All that 10 gun shit and all that shit is pointless. You just made some gun store rich. And then Boxer Sparring says them fools so jealous of showbiz. Says Drew said if Biz ever says anything to him, says he gonna knock his eyes out. Says he gonna knock his eyes out his sockets. Says he be at these fight events. Says but don't do shit. Says you just be talking, trying to impress 78 in there. I hope Black Fight fandom listening and shit. Like all that shit sound like motherfucking WWE shit. Like niggas weird, man. Niggas a weird ass nigga, and them niggas fail to want to tell that nigga that shit. Niggas weird, man. Niggas up here trying to show off for each other and shit. Like, and then be on the same shit, loving the same shit. Like, and these niggas made each other had to wear the same kind of clothes. Them niggas would go out and buy that shit. And then Steph in the building says, be well read, says in the chat family, says already, says yo, hit that like button. And then Picasso says, if you live in within 5 miles of the White House, says you should pray. You should pray every day, says, and hope they survive backlash, says Trump got coming to him. It's going to only come to Trump and Trump only. That's all that shit should come to because he's an ignorant fuck. Mark Summers says, there were no disease. Laugh out loud. Man, they ain't had no disease until people like you came over here, Mark Summers, bringing all that filth. Like, who knows, Mark Summers, You'll be surprised, Mark Summers, to know how many times your mama done passed the disease over to your dad. Your mama done burnt the fuck out your dad, and that low life ass nigga stay this shit. Y'all motherfucker be going through hell with y'all bitches, man. That bitch done burnt your dad so many motherfucking times. Hell, she probably was burning when she pushed you out and shit. That's why your face looked fucked up. You had some of that shit on your face passing through her canal and shit. And then you passed through her Slumdog Millionaire passage, man. Fucking nasty ass motherfuckers. And then Boxing Spars, he said something about D Hodges being in the dirt, says where he belongs, says, and you being a hoe, says, and making lies about him. Says I think he was on Osterine, says the way he was yelling this morning, says shit. He said that shit on YouTube. I gotta go back and find that shit. Steph says this is hilarious, says talking about this dude parents. Yeah, I got tell him the truth because he come over here to learn his history and shit. He didn't know that shit. Mama definitely was passing them disease over to his dad. Dad just a sucker. And then Ben Israel in the building. Ben Boxer says, shalom to the great Reggie O, says, stop hating on my black people, man. You don't ever hear me hate on black people, but you'll hear me keep it real on black people I need to talk about. And then Picasso says I recently saw a video, says, talking about 400 black men, says, were given syphilis by the U.S. government as an experiment, says, which spread it to their wives and children. Says, nowadays, it's the food and medication. I don't think they pass the diseases to us through the food or medication like that. But who knows? What kind of experiments are taking place? And then Matthew says American German says will change their names like Heinrich to Henry. Says Albrecht to Albright. Says etc. Says to hide their German ancestry. Says going back to the First World War, says, and probably also during and after the Second. Yeah, definitely after the Second World War, they definitely did. But America opens the door for these motherfuckers. Open the door for them because we get Scumbag ass white dude. That's why it bugs me when we get a president like Obama. Black folks got so much dumb shit to say about the dude. Just some of the most ignorant black people. That's why I say, is America better off with white staying as the damn majority? And that was a question for me to watch how black people responded to that shit. But a lot of black people had to shut the fuck up because they look at their reactions and the way in which they act when they see black people taking strides into being leadership. For younger generations, we better off because they have come up into a world to where they've seen a black president. They've seen a woman almost become president, maybe even twice. That their generation, it'll be achieved. But these niggas who are just recidivized slaves and shit, they can die and go to shit. No, they'll get old and be how like grandparents of our or how older people when Obama came about who thought they'll never in their lives see a black president. So black president be a normalized thing in there. And the Trump-like motherfuckers can kick shit in their grave. If I become president, Trump, if he dead by the time I do that shit, I'm digging his body. I'm kicking that shit. That shit can hit a current and go back over to Europe. And you find the right current that lead back to that motherfucker, and they can get that nigga at the shore. He ain't even worth putting in the boat. But that bitch nigga don't belong here. Neither does Melania. And then and I know Boxy says I got a good arsenal, Slim. Says an older brother told me years ago, says be ready for the revolution to kick off. Says more and more of us blacks getting into them. And then the Ben says in 2026 says Reg, white is not the factor. Says white is not the factor. They spook. Says we smoking each at a all-time. We smoking each other, man, at all-time high. Says everywhere. And black people gotta wake up to this shit. But it's on the parents. There ain't no, if it ain't on the big homies for the cats that get in the streets, it's on the parents to teach that shit. It's on the parents, man, to teach love, not to teach division, not to teach fucking hate, that this person you got to compete with, that this person you got to fear, that this person can't be over here. Fuck, like, you got to break out of that shit. And then you watch these weird niggas like Drew and them get on the internet and do this shit over little boys in gloves. These niggas the biggest homos you ever seen in your motherfucking life. Then they go to Rumble to want to talk shit like a bitch. I know Boxer says I'm nice with my hands, says but fingers can't beat bullets. And then and Picasso says I stopped eating the bullshit ass fast food, says going on 2 months, says no meat, says and I'm researching new meal ideas. Says I don't get hungry no more. Says I'm saving money and things. But you talk about the meat and all this poisonous shit. Who you think grow these damn vegetables that you niggas eat? All you crazy health ass niggas eat. The same people growing the fucking meat. Nigga, you niggas is crazy. Motherfuckers is wild out here, man. Like I said, I'm a newfound goddamn whole fooler and shit. And I ain't on none of that. I ain't a whole fooler be on none of them old rabbit food ass diets neither. I done put my weight on, nigga. Love who I am, nigga. Whether I drop this shit or that shit stay on me. And the velocity cuts in and rolling. Arnold Boxer says true, says collecting them can get expensive, says, but I'm an enthusiast, says when it comes to these straps. Man, you probably ain't shot one of your guns in 10 years. And then Picasso says, I don't eat pork, beef, chicken. The fuck do you eat? You gotta eat fish or something. How the fuck you ain't eating fucking meat and shit? But I guess a good thing, but you a skinny ass dude too. So that helped, man. I can't see myself not eating meat and shit. And instead says, that's hilarious, says talking about dudes' parents and shit. Because it's the truth about his parents. His mama was burning his dad. That's common in Susieville. And then Matthew says Mark Summers' ancestors brought the natives guilt, syphilis, and alcohol. Laugh out loud, says, and the natives just gave them taboos, just gave them tobaccos probably. Yeah, the natives is dying, man. Natives fucked one of their bitches and shit and got sick than a motherfucker. They're like, what? Ain't no one hit him, man. This bitch came over there stinking. And then Otto Boxer said, then he put the bitch in the water and the motherfucking fish died. And then Otto Boxer says, wait a minute. Says Mark Summers' mama is a thank you come again. Says Indian woman. Says I thought he was a racist white boy. Yeah, that's what he is. This is what he is. Mama came over like Trump mama, poisoning America and shit. It was the first biological weapons. This is where they get biological warfare from. Send one of they bitches over here. And the Velocity Cuss says the bus driver say that on Welcome to the Jungle live stream, shaking my head. And then the Picasso says, damn, said Red sounds like you described that race called called Tough Mudder. Says coming out the birth canal. Says that's the first thing I thought of. And that's where that motherfucker Mark Summers was born from. That's why he talked the way he talked. That shit got in his goddamn lungs and went down his windpipe when he's coming out that little fucking dungeon hole. And then and instead says this the only. And then but let me see. Picasso right. Well, hold on. Let me go down somewhere with this one. Picasso says I meant the powers that be says got all of us dependent on medication and fast food. We all ain't dependent on medication, bro. Y'all be going overboard thinking America trying to poison you. It is not. And it says after hearing the food says was created in the lab, says I lost my motherfucking appetite. The thing ain't it. It's about our consumptions of shit. Like even with me, man, once I stopped working out and eating and shit the way I was doing, you can't do that shit. The thing is your body, you ought to know that shit. You're a fucking athlete, bro. Your body starts storing fats. The sugars we eat, they start being stored. If you ain't burning that shit enough, you're going to start compounding weight. The body, how it breaks it down. We can go to the doctor and get blood work. That's why it's important. That's why this country needs to make it more people have access to health care. It shouldn't be just based on, because we got a lot of unemployed people. There shouldn't be a thing about you need to work for this corporation. They get access to this insurance. Others don't get access, and you can just die when it's shit that they can easily treat. It's simply that. It's like, and then it ain't even just about eating. It's about what other people do. You get people that walking around sick than a motherfucker, still going around large groups of people, passing on shit, getting people sick. What else people do? People don't wipe down shit. People not washing up properly, spreading shit. People doing shit sexually, not cleaning themselves. Dirty motherfuckers fucking bitches raw. Bitches allowing themselves to be fucked raw. Not cleaning themselves, not going to get checked. That's how we dying. It ain't the food and shit. People being stressed out, letting bad energy come to them. Minds fucked up. Just look at people. You watch how people, and then on top of that, people doing drugs and shit. It ain't the food killing motherfuckers. It's all this other shit. Like niggas got to control their shit. It's simple as that. And then and the Velocity Cuss says, Slim says, don't shoot your eyes out, says like Ralphie in the Christmas Story. Man, hell nah. I'm safe with guns. I'm very safe with guns. Like, but I ain't a gun person. I never been like a nigga feel like he need guns. I ain't never been a nigga that walk around terrified of motherfuckers. And I'm a nigga who be like, I don't be want to care because I would shoot a motherfucker. Hey, I ain't got no problem and no hesitation on. Like it was the one time I was coming to Cali, one of these niggas on a motorcycle, acting all tough and shit. And this nigga lucky I had my kids in that motherfucker. But you best believe I had my shit in my hand, cocked, roll my window down. He don't even know I'm about to shoot him in his motherfucking face. And this is like a couple of years ago. And this is like, I be like, because I know me, this is why I be like, I don't be wanting to be around motherfuckers, keep my distance far from motherfuckers, because I know me. I know who I am. I don't follow motherfuckers, don't stay around because people, but he was this dude doing like idiotic shit. Like you a motherfucker on a motorcycle trying to cross and ride in between cars. Like, nigga, I will blow your motherfucking face off. You was lucky as fuck these babies in this car with me. You'd have been dead on that motherfucking highway. Like, and I was like, man, that's why I be like, oh man, that's why I be like, I just don't, when it ain't necessary to have it, I don't keep it with me. And then DJ says gang violence is says the lowest it's been since the 60s. Says y'all need to stop knee walking for whites, says for white statistics, says talking about we killing each other, says at an all-time high. Yeah, niggas be buying at this shit. They listen to news, present all the gang violence in cities, and they had all these murders, but they cover the fact that there's people in these domestic situations doing all the killing. Majority of murders is happening inside of people's households. Like even out here in Vegas, DJ, I know you've been watching the damn news. All these fucking murders. Nigga got into it with a roommate. Motherfucker got into it with his wife. Motherfucker got into it with his kids. Motherfucker, it ain't a bunch of gang violent shit. It's these people in these homes, in these relationships, friendships that fall out. It ain't the gang shit, but then they'll paint it black and white. They'll hide the race of the shit. They had a motherfucker out here the other day had to save his coworker. I don't even know how they arrested the dude. Former coworker or ex-employee gets fired, comes back to the job trying to kill a current employee he used to work with. Another employee see what's going down, grabs his gun and kill this motherfucker. But somehow he still get arrested. But I think they say he may get the self-defense protection. And the box sparring says time step says 119 says Rumble channel shit says hilarious. Oh man, you got sub. I ain't about to sub to no nigga on Rumble and shit. These niggas running to other platforms because all them fools be now talking about they on Rumble. If one nigga say they on Patreon, they go, them niggas is grown ass 50-year-old copycats. That shit is crazy to me. And the box sparring says the laughing at velocity cuts. Mark Summers says skip my comment, says about your cracked out mom. No, your comment about my cracked out mom didn't pop up. That shit don't affect me at all, homie. You got to know I'm Reggie, my brother. Nigga, if I can talk the shit, I can take it. But guess what? She may have birthed me. She is my mother, but she ain't got no effect on me. My mom is who fucking raised me, my brother. Your mama is the one who birthed you with that motherfucking venereal disease and passed that shit on to you. And that's why you probably banned from even fucking bitches because you got that shit in your system. You probably an AIDS baby, nigga. That's what Mark Summers is. Mark Summers was born with the virus and shit. His mama was so damn hot. And then Picasso says my stomach went down. Says seafood, Mexican food, says without meat. Says beans, pico de gallo, jalapenos, cheese, sour cream, and a corn tortilla. Says it's called tostadas. Says I made a couple of them today. Man, Picasso, you been skinny, bro. You ain't got no stomach, nigga. And then Matthew Webb says, Mark Summers says, your mom is probably hiding in the trailer park, says hopping up on meth. Says hopped up on meth. She probably hopped up on somebody's shit too. Why she on that shit? That'd be the crazy shit. Them niggas in the trailers be fucking meth head bitches. That shit nasty, man. Motherfuckers in there fucking meth head bitches. Just nasty. That's what Mark Summers was doing to his mom was doing to his dad, cheating on that nigga. And he stayed there. And then Picasso says, I eat Asian food, says like vegetable spring rolls. And then Buck Spartan says to Picasso says tostadas be fire, bro. And then he says chicken nuggets is not chicken. Chicken nuggets is actually chicken, bro. But the process of how they make them is nasty. They fucking grind that shit into like a little slurry and shit, and then compact that shit. And the user says, no disrespect, says Americans have bad hygiene, especially the ones who look like Mark Summers and shit. That's why black people always talking about when they went into Europe, they taught them how to wash their ass. And then when black people left, them niggas stopped doing it. And then Picasso says they fired for real. And then Steph says, here in Roland says that comment by Velocity Cuts. User says, was a biker part of the LDBC? Man, I don't know where this punk motherfucker is from, but he's gonna be a dead ass motherfucker. I probably would have been in jail or some shit. I was just like, man, thank God I had to like, man, come on, man. And then but that was some years ago too. And then and he says Asians, the food, particularly Japanese, Japanese the best, says followed by Texas barbecue. Says that Picasso, Texas barbecue is not the best, bro. And then he says, yeah, some American, y'all don't even really season y'all barbecue and shit. It's just like y'all just throw y'all barbecue on the grill and shit. And y'all just go for the color of the meat. Once it's brown, it's good to y'all. And Steph says, yeah, so some Americans do have bad hygiene, says, but America is everybody, says, laugh out loud, says it's been trying to make America white again, swag, says, since the beginning. And then Box Smart says, I ain't sub, bro, says you just can't comment. He says, I ain't sub, bro, says you just can't comment. Is that the Rumble shit? I don't even want to like follow that shit. He had it on YouTube. I'll go watch that shit. But he was too big of a hoe to talk that shit on YouTube, so he went to Rumble. And then Mark Summers says voice cracking and shit. And then Picasso says we really don't supposed to be eating 3 meals a day. Now you are. You're supposed to balance that shit. I don't think we're supposed to eat. The problem in America is we eat 3 meals and we eat 3 meals with meat. That'd be a problem. I know I do that shit. And he says, since I recently heard, says it was a slavery tactic. Picasso, no, it wasn't, bro. Where y'all be making up this shit? Says I can't type it all. Says to make it make sense. Says take notes. Says and indulge in some education. Bro, they were not going to have fat fucking slaves on the fucking plantation. If you're doing laborious work, the job is not to overfeed you, bro. And then you didn't really deal with obesity like that because they didn't eat processed food. You didn't deal with too many niggas. You did have big cats like how besides I am, but my weight come from I used to be muscular type dude and shit from lifting weights and then stop doing that shit and just eating this shit and busting nuts. And then so you put on all this weight and shit. And it take a hard work to burn this shit off. But back then in slavery, you probably even going like years ago, you didn't deal with too many people that were like big. You didn't deal with like how they talk about obesity now. You didn't deal with a lot of that shit. You deal with a lot of toned, fit dudes back then. So a lot of that shit y'all applying to what y'all see currently in the era of processed food and shit and how we blowing up off this shit. Because we got it made. That's the reason why people put on so much weight in this country. We got it made. It's so easy to go buy shit. Then we got this fast food shit. We ain't cooking. Everything's just laid out for us, and we just overindulge in fucking food and sugars, which I used to be a fiend for that shit. Pricing cut me back on a lot of candy I used to eat. But I still like candy, but I don't buy as much because of how inflated the pricing on that shit. But our consumptions of sugar, the fact that we can access meat so often and shit and eat that shit with every damn 3 meal we eat rather than balancing our meals out. I used to go, wow, I wouldn't even eat vegetables. I can really say it used to be time period, like spans and months where I wouldn't even eat a green fucking vegetable. I don't give a fuck about a vegetable like that. And then Mark Summers says, and I'm talking for a lot of people that probably the same fucking way. And then Mark Summers says, you talking about your mom, says, and your friends' moms, says, definitely not. And then Mark Summers can't even write a full comment. He wanted this so bad, but what I said about his mama was so true, he can't even write back. He can't even be like, your mom was a crackhead, and this and that. That shit don't work over here, Mark Summers. I'm one of the toughest niggas you're going to ever deal with, my brother. And the Velocity Cuss said, damn, cuz, says Drew was talking real reckless about the deceased. Said the deceased, shaking my head. Says calling you nigga conversations with Reggie Owens. That's what that nigga said. Hey, somebody, can y'all send me that shit? I gotta see that shit. I probably gotta do a classic live stream clowning that bus driving pussy. And then Steph says, the Picasso says, but bro, that's fasting. Yeah, Picasso just be making those shit. Picasso piecing history together. That's why I like, man. With me, you can't just piece bullshit history, man. I'm lightweight, a historian on shit, bro. You can't just piece in the lightweight bullshit or scare tactic history, bro. And then Box Smart, the Velocity Cuss says, you heard that shit, bro? And then Picasso and they're rolling, and then Matthew and they're rolling. Velocity Cuss says, go to Rumble, says skip to 119. Wait, what the hell is Rumble? Hold on, let me type that shit in. Hold on. As long as I do that shit without fucking prescription, I'll go check it out. Or it was subscription. All right, what's his channel name? Oh, Rumble look like some old fake ass YouTube shit. Let me see. Let me find this whole ass nigga channel. Oh, here we go. I see it. All right, let me see. Wait, what's the 17 hours ago? All right, this must be. Oh, this shit is a fake ass YouTube. These dumb niggas on a knockoff YouTube channel. This fucking degenerate ass nigga. Hold on, let me find it. It's at the hour 19. Oh, he tried to put it all in. He tried to hide the shit. He tried, he tried to hide the shit. Hold on. Let me listen to it. Let me see. All right, so 119. Let me go to it. Uh, you talk about an hour 19, right? Let's go on. We may have to go in the morning stump up. Oh, let me see. And then let me see. He says go to Rumble, skip the 119. We go into their velocity cuts. Hold on. Hold up on the comments. Let me listen to this. Wait, is it an hour 19? Hour 19. Let me hear it. So I guess he's talking about KKKC or something. Let's see. All right, this ain't taking too long. And then Steph says, Reggie says, everyone in California goes to Texas, says to learn. Hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. And then Picasso says, since I fast, but fasting can, all right. I heard you talking about D Hodges now. I hear you talking about D Hodges, who did. He says I fasted, but fasting can be done in many ways, in my opinion. Says it's a lot to do with discipline. Says come find out. Says come to find out. Says you shouldn't starve yourself. No, you shouldn't starve yourself. You see what happened in countries of films and shit. And boxing sparring says you don't have to follow says or sub, bro. So just listen. Says shit hilarious. Says he starts his live on YouTube. Then switches over to Rumble. It's a monkey too, bro. And it and if license says that motherfucker says must be going through menopause. He going through menopause. That's exactly what that whole ass nigga. I'm like, I gotta cook this nigga in the morning. Well, is this it? Let's hear it. He's on the he was on that other nigga's channel. Listen, wait, how the fuck is he? Hold on, he just talking about D Hodges coming. How the fuck is this nigga talking about D Hodges? But say he's on that other nigga's channel, Reggie Howens. Come on, homie. And so he going off of D Hodges' video talking about fucking. I thought he was talking about me. Man, this nigga is a hoe. Man, I gotta still clown this nigga. He's a hoe. I be thinking them niggas be acting scared of me or some shit. What they think I'm crazy or some shit? And then Matthew says during slavery says they underfed them on purpose so they wouldn't get slow and sluggish. Right. Like because we talk about they overfed us, they programs overfeed us during slavery. Like they would never do that shit. They would never plump up a damn slave to where they could get production. They want the healthiest slaves. Like they gonna auction for a healthy, strong as an ox ass slave to just make this nigga fat and sluggish. Like Picasso, you gotta stop making up that damn history. But why was he going in on D Hodges though? That's the most despicable shit about this whole ass nigga. It's time to do Drew Titan like Fred, like I did Fred shit. And he says Rumble is dope. Says you don't get censored on that platform. Says like YouTube. Nah, I like YouTube better. Fuck that Rumble shit. That shit is a knockoff of YouTube. YouTube about to sue this shit. Get the fuck out of here with that Rumble shit. And then Matthew says that was theory. And then Boxer Sparring says the velocity cut says either that says or he on his period, bro. And then Matthew says, and then he says a good slavery book says is the narrative of Solomon Northrop. Says 12 years a slave. Says B wrote about how they get fed. And there's a movie also. See, I don't like them kind of movies. I wouldn't watch 12 Years a Slave. But then Picasso says I'll be still eating a lot. So I'll be still eating a lot of stuff. Says, but we're not cutting the worm, says, from pork and other meats. Says, damn near everything has parasites. If you don't cook it right, that's why you gotta cook food, bro. He says, I'm not telling us, I'm not telling what to do, says, but watch what you says what you consuming. No, when you cook shit, you are killing parasites. And parasites ain't about to live under heat. They'll live in raw ass meat. That's why you gotta cook that shit. But that's also why you gotta inspect your feet, your food. Like that's why I be saying a lot of people with meat salute, cuz a lot of people when it comes to meat, like I had people talking about barbecue and all that shit. Y'all don't take time with y'all food. Y'all don't expect your food. You don't clean your food. You don't trim off shit in your food. You don't cook it at the right temperatures. That's why they do this shit about cooking food to a certain internal temperature or knowing when it's cooked there. And I ain't about to use a thermometer like the homie Brandon Washington and shit. And then and the box sparring says, yeah, it said, yeah, bro, at the hour 19. That fool was going in on D Hodges, but I don't get that shit. The fuck you talking about D Hodges? Like I heard him in the other video where he's talking about showbiz. But like Cuss says, the boxer says them niggas going brazy ever since goofy ass Ryan won that WBC. Says they want Dev says to get his lick back so bad. Nah, they talking about, man, I'm gonna tell Bill Haney not to fight Dev. I mean, not to fight Ryan. And the Picasso and the Rolling Velocity Cuss says, yeah, it says a lot of people switch to Rumble. Says when they want to crash out, says without being censored. Then they don't be censoring none of these clowns out the LDBC. To be honest, you two don't even know who the fuck them chumps is. Velocity Cuts in there rolling. And then Picasso says D Hodges been gone. Yeah, D Hodges been gone for fucking what, 5 years? Nigga want to talk about dead niggas like he ain't dying. That nigga got all type of health shit wrong with. That nigga think he in shape. You tight and sloppy in the motherfucker for a nigga to talk about he go to the gym. Nigga probably all type of supplements, fucking his whole central nervous system the fuck up. That nigga all the way fucked up. And then nobody from it, because all the LDBC look fucked up too. They ain't got the audacity to tell him how fucking atrocious he looked. And then Boxer Sparring says the Velocity Cuss says they losing their minds, says over Ryan. Says they like bitches, bro. Velocity Cuss says says RP to D Hodges, yes indeed. Ben says drop the link, says for them to explain. Hell no, you see what time it is? I ain't about to stay on here that goddamn long. The Velocity Cuss says the facts the boxer. And the Deuce Time says slaves fed themselves, says they made all the food. Yeah, the Picasso and they're talking about and that's the other thing. Thanks for saying that, dude. Because not D Hodges, Picasso just making up history. Like they had to go through the line at the white man house and the white man feeding them and shit. Like hell fucking no. Talking about they were overfeeding them on purpose. Like they would never do that shit. Like I say, there wasn't many big ass people back then. Like them fools ate fucking the freshest of food and didn't waste shit. You probably couldn't refrigerate it, so you didn't do all this overconsumption of food. There was probably no refrigeration during slavery. So what you cook, you ate it then. So yeah, it wasn't none of that shit. And then, like Dude said, the slaves fed themselves. It wasn't the white folks. And that's the other thing people got to get out of, man. We eating the scraps of the white man. That's some other bullshit that black people have been taught. Man, soul food is a scrap that the white people didn't want to eat. Yeah, fucking right. White folks don't know how to cook. These animals don't come from their fucking countries. Like, what the fuck? People been fed this shit. Same way they go with this religion shit. Don't know shit and just go whatever these people tell them. Like, and all throughout any other country around the world where we kind of share similarities in food, they eat every part of an animal. Therefore, they will never waste shit killing an animal for the fucking sake of hunting and shit. That's what fucking white people do in this motherfucker. Shoot a goddamn animal to keep his fucking head and shit. Shoot an animal to fucking hang it on the wall. Like, no, if you gonna take out an animal, you gonna kill that motherfucker to feed yourself, and then you bless the fucking food. That's where that shit come from. And a lot of people don't even do that shit. You bless the food, you thank God for the sacrifices animal is taking to fucking replenish you and shit. Like, niggas be just making up shit, man. We eat chicken because the white man didn't want to eat it. Yeah, fucking right. We eat chitlins because the white man, no, we eat because we don't waste fucking food. There's a nutritional aspect of every part of this damn animal. You don't waste shit. These people don't know how to eat. You know, it's the funniest shit ever happened. One day we having this little event. This is when I was at work. some years ago at a job I had worked at, and we was having a little function. I bring skins to that motherfucker. Everybody black, even the Latinos, because they call them chicharrones. I bring the motherfucking skins to the goddamn thing. These white folks didn't know what the fuck this shit is. Now, Southern whites know what skins are. That's how I knew that these whites were new arrivals, like Mark Summers. If you ever want to see a white person fake their American history, bring skins around. And when they don't know what the fuck they are, you know this person's family history. They're not American. Pop them motherfuckers out. And they like this. The new skins I be getting be the ones from that company called Mac and shit. They make some pretty good skins and shit. But then it's a Mexican dude that's on YouTube who be cooking the chicharrones like from scratch. Them bitches be looking good than a motherfucker. And it instead says boxing gang says get rid of you fam. Says boxing fan will get rid of you. And then boxer says RP to D Hodges, says he was a good dude. Yeah, D Hodges is a funny dude. Shit, we all gonna go. And then Velocica says then straight drop hill says messing them niggas up, cuz yeah, them niggas all the way fucked up. And then Boxer Sparring says, yes, his WBC member says got all sort of health issues. Like Tay Brown says she losing her hair. Damn, for real. Oh man, that should have hurt her feelings. Nigga be on her cloud. I won't cloud her, man, unless she say some sideways shit. And then Auto Boxer says, drop the link. Brother said, let me speak. Man, fuck letting them speak. Says Tay Brown says, remind me of Tiny Harris, man. Hey, how that shit with T.I. and them kick off, man? What if 50 Cent put a Tiny? He put her up there naked or something? And then Boxer Sparring and they're rolling. And he says, Matthew says, what do white people eat anyway? He says roast beef, says, and mayonnaise sandwiches, laugh out loud. They eat processed food. That's where the sandwiches, that's why I don't like sandwiches like that. I'm not a big sandwich person. I'll eat fucking pastrami or some shit, but they eat a lot of processed on the shelf ass meats that just sit there. They eat the bologna, meat. That shit come from where they come from. The bologna, meat, fucking. They used to can and shit, like how they can vegetables. So they found a way to try to do it with meat, the canned meat, where it can stay and be stored and going through its processing shit, which starts fucking up the body. The deli meats and all that other shit, they go through that shit. And then, which people have come to like that shit. That's a European thing. And then, but it started the whole processed food shit. And then Picasso's laughing at Velocity Cuts. And then Matthew says Mexicans don't waste shit either. Says laugh a lot. Yeah, no, that's why you go in a Mexican store. You go into Mexican stores because they're the same as us. I think Mexico has learned a lot of black practices on food and shit. You go in a Mexican store, you find all type of shit. That's why I like black people who talk this shit about soul food being slave food is some of the dumbest, trying to make white people happy fucking idiots you ever can hear in your life. Even when I was a kid listening, I used to reject that stupid shit because I knew it wasn't true. Something spiritually let me know that shit ain't true. Like I said, you go into Mexican stores, they eat every aspect of these fucking animals. They ain't just killing an animal for the fucking hell of killing it. And you go into any country. That's why I like watching these travel channels that go to places, or they'll show them going into certain districts in like these third world countries. And even in their meat market, which I wouldn't trust to eat the food in these places. I don't know, like being an American dude, the standard of what they'll keep with keeping meats to keep them fresh. But you go there, when they slaughter animal, they use every part of that motherfucker. They'll use the heart, the liver, the intestines. They use the brain, the tongue. They even cook the eyes. People, it's countries that eat the eyes. Fucking, they don't waste shit. So for black people to think that white people gave you scrap shit, like, yeah, right. They wasn't even cooking. They was enjoying to have black people cook the shit because how they would put their soul in that shit, season the shit up. And then Auto Boxer says, the Velocity Cuss says, you better be careful. It says this and Tiny. Says King Harris is going to step to you. Says going to step to you, gangster. Like he was the kid, whatever that kid name. When I seen he put the thing about 50 Cent mama in the being in the dirt, and he was right to do that shit. He was right to do that shit. And then Picasso says in Louisiana says we eat pork chitlins. Says we eat pork chitlins. Says while drinking. Oh, cracklings. I'm looking at chitlins. Said we eat pork cracklings while drinking. Man, I remember the first time I seen skins. Man, our mom used to have to hide the motherfuckers. We sneak in the room and get some of them. Them shits is good than the motherfucker. But I like I don't like just the regular skins, the little light fluffy skins. I like them deep, hard, crunchy ass fucking skins with the little meaty part, the little dry, hard, meaty part in the middle of the cracklings. I love that shit. And then and the Velocity Cuss says Fact Slim says what you say about my mama. And then on the box in the rolling. And everybody in the roll, I'm not sure what they laughing. And he says, and on the box says 50 Cent show a picture of Tiny, says show a picture of Tiny Bad BBL. See, I gotta see this. It looks like she's wearing a diaper. Says with Dookie. No, hold on, let me go to this shit. Hold on, that shit crazy. That fool 50 crazy, but I hope they gotta keep going in on 50, man. They gotta keep going, but 50 one of them niggas that nigga ain't about to be bothered by that shit. You gotta come with some real tough shit. Even the talking about his mom in the grave shit probably don't even affect him. Let me see. Tiny Harris. Let me see. Oh, I don't really see the picture. This one blocking it. But why her ass out like that? I'm lost on why her ass is out like that. Yeah, but she done like dumb shit to her body. I mean, then she go get some surgery or some bullshit she doing with color in her eyes and all this other crazy shit. Let me see. And then she too old to be doing that shit. She gotta let the body just be what it is and shit. Let me see. So yeah, no, I don't see this shit. And then as soon as I go to Twitter looking for her, of course, all these naked bitches pop up on my Twitter and shit. Yeah, I don't really see the yeah, it must have had the pictures pulled. I seen a one, but I don't really see what it is. I don't really see what it is showing with Tiny. Yeah, I don't really see what it is. But yeah, they have every right to go in there on 50 Cent, talking about his mama, everything. Ain't nothing off limits. Cook her ass. And he says, and Picasso says we eat chicken dumplings, etc. Says chicken dumplings, etc. Right? Says, but I ate at a restaurant in Virginia. Says that had peaches on chicken. Says I was sitting there like I'm about to be white. Says for 5 minutes. Says and eat ice cream. Yeah, I don't like white chicken. I can't eat at a white food place, like especially the ones who talking about they version was really soul food. Call it Southern food. Anything says Southern food, I don't want that shit. That shit better say soul on it. Fuck all that Southern shit. And then that's like going to Cracker Barrel. I would never eat at Cracker Barrels. I'm glad I be seeing the little videos people post talking about Cracker Barrel. I've never eaten that funky ass shit. That Cracker Barrel shit remind me of the Life movie. Where these is nigga pies only. That's what that shit looked like. And then Picasso says the ice cream was called Nutball. And they in there laughing at this nigga Picasso just writing the most random crazy shit. Says I didn't eat the ice cream, says because of the name. They in there laughing. And she said Velasquez says she got her ass botched in Tijuana. That's what she get for getting that shit. Bitch is crazy to be able to get surgery and shit. CJ in the building, salute. He says, what you mean, of course? Says, niggas, says, that's all you got on Twitter. Says, naked bitches. Man, as soon as I go looking at shit, Always go look at the naked bitches, man. I'll be looking, nigga. I'll be looking like I was looking at that one bitch. Well, I think this one kicked it off. It was that bitch, India Love. And I seen they was saying some shit where I went to look at, she got a old thick ass sister, the sister on there. I'd be like, damn, they parents done produce all these pretty ass bitches, and these bitches be in there busting it open. Then I seen that little pretty ass, I don't know what kind of, she used to do the skits, and she be doing the game and shit, Kalani, and they used to be the bitch on even that fool, the fool with all the tests that be talking to guns. Who's that fool? Derek Grace. His little bitch was on there doing that. She bad as fuck to me. And there was all type, like, nigga, fuck all that Twitter reading niggas comments. I do not go on Twitter to look at what drama some nigga done started, what nigga done wrote. I do not go on Twitter for that shit. Now, I used to go on Twitter to find like war footage. If it's certain news stories I want to cover, maybe some political shit, I'll go on there. But when I was seeing like the bad bitches, I see on Instagram, and I'll be like, this bitch got a Twitter. Let me go see these bitches in there popping that shit. Nigga, fuck reading some old bullshit ass comment. Man, I don't want to read no dude comment on Twitter. I'm going to look at these pretty bitches. And if Lysica says Tiny Mom is straight blue-eyed white queen, says like Devin Haney's stepmom. Man, you wouldn't be surprised with how many white women got black ass kids. Like that'd be pissing. Imagine that shit. And I'll be loving when I see that shit. Salute to all my interracial folks out there. But I love to see that shit when white women be having black kids. And imagine, because it made me reflect back to slave times. That imagine you fucking, that's why I be loving when they talk this history about like how we used to be able to fuck. That's why I knew Mark Sumner's mama was cheating on his daddy all the time. Like I said, Mark Sumner's dad was getting cheated on by his mama. Mark Summers probably got a black brother and sister. That motherfucker. That motherfucker got old curly ass hair, probably light as fuck. They probably pass it as white. And they better make sure they don't swab that motherfucker. But these motherfuckers, so you see like the white women with these black kids. Imagine during that slavery shit. Nigga out there laying motherfucking lumber to that old flat booty bitch. And they're giving her the Crip Mac fucking. Say, bitch, I'ma bust you in your pussy in your asshole, bitch. He laugh at that hoe like that. That bitch, oh, give it to me. Them bitches ain't never been fucked like that. Them bitches. That's why that slave shit fell. That's why they want to start the Civil War. I'm about to kill these niggas. Oh, this nigga, nigga raising old black ass slave baby and shit. They're laughing. That shit be cracking me up. That's why I love talking history. I love learning history and then using history to disrespect pieces of shit. I'm gonna use history to disrespect all motherfuckers. That's why you can never talk ill about black people to me. Because even in the midst of slavery, which they don't want to talk about, we still fucking y'all bitches. And then when y'all want the nut up during that war, we killed you motherfuckers. And then we got our freedom. And then that's why you can't deport us. Niggas talking about we 3/5 of human. Your bitches didn't believe that. And neither did you. And then Otto Boxer says, Tiny Surgery says, look horrible. It says she went to Lil Kim's doctor. Lil Kim and them look bad. Like, I would dump a bitch for that surgery. Like I said, I had a bitch get that breast implant shit. I did not like that bitch after that. Boxer Sparring says, the Arnold Boxer says, facts, bro. Like, I wouldn't mind if a bitch titty got a little bit of like it's drooping and sag. I'd rather fuck with that. The breast implant titty just too fake than a motherfucker. That shit garbage, homie. And then Arnold Boxer says, the Mark Summers says, Granny eats the goat, says, Granny eat the goat toenails, says, and drink the poop shoot juice. What the hell you talking about? But because like a bitch with her natural titty, she get like a sensation out that motherfucker. The implant titty, man, the bitch ain't got no sensation in that shit. Like, cause that's how you can lead a bitch to her orgasm. You get to playing with her titty, sucking on it lightly while fucking her, she gonna bust. Like cuz says, hey, cuz says that the 55th Crip says really named his daughter Kalani. He cut Lonnie, shake my that nigga probably did. I was hearing them saying that shit. It was worded. I was like, it's a nice name. I didn't pay attention. He had cuz in it. That nigga is gang bang the fuck up. But I did like his interview, the way he handled that shit with that punk ass dude, Adam 22 bitch ass. I like the way he handled that shit. And once again, what made it better is he didn't got his knowledge up. Once again, he was talking about Adam old pussy ass, talking about you should run the boxing match. You can make $100,000 fighting. Man, I ain't fighting none of these niggas. Like, fuck that. I got other shit going. Blyson cuts in there rolling. And then Box Sparring says, Mark Mick's brother says name. Marcus says Marcus Somerville, right. And his daddy taking care of that little black motherfucker. And then Blyson cuts in there rolling. Imagine that shit, man. Yeah, they're running through these old this bitch thinks she a queen and shit. Oh my God. Even Queen Elizabeth was probably getting fucked by a black motherfucker. And then she'd act all high sedity and shit just so she can get jewels on her neck. But lo and behold, she is sneaking under that drawbridge, pulling her dress up. Getting flooded the fuck out. These bitches know what the deal is. Autobox says 50 Cent is going to drop a verse. Us is going to drop a verse. Say dag Tiny. What the hell did you write? Says, hey, say dog Tiny. Says back in the group. Says you was cute. Says you was cute, shorty. Said, but what the heck happened to you? What happened to your goddamn writing? And then Matthew says, Silicon Tiz says, feel like a bag of sand. Says natural. Says natural and Celine's feel better. Says perfectly. All natural. Says, but Celine can work. Says better than silicone. Now, the one chick I fuck with who got that shit, she had the saline ones. And they gotta do all that massaging and shit. It was another man. This is the other reason I want to get married. Because a bitch I was always cool with, who was married, who I can fuck, have back. She get breast implants and come to me, ask me. I'm like, man, this bitch is foul as fuck. And would show me this shit, all this shit. And I'd be like, this bitch is foul. Because it was even years ago when I was still in Long Beach and shit, where this bitch come through. And I'm not even knowing she married and shit. And then when she come by the house, she fucking on her period and shit. So I don't do nothing. But then the next day we go to motherfucking Roscoe's in Long Beach. They had built a Roscoe, white ass version of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles down in Long Beach. And we in there, this bitch keep talking about her husband, this and her husband. I'm like looking like, and this bitch just all up on me. And we in the motherfucking restaurant and people hearing this bitch say this shit. I was like, I wish this bitch wasn't on her motherfucking period. Because I like bitches like that is who I just fuck like a slut. Like, I like, man, this bitch is wild. This bitch is wild. And they be like, I done seen a lot of that shit with bras. Like every broad ain't, and because it be niggas be suckers. Like they see a bitch be purty, they get to fuck the bitch and fall in love and want to throw a ring on it. People gotta be better in how they educate when they talk about marriage. Everybody ain't meant to be married. Everybody ain't marriage material. Marriage should not be rushed. Maybe you wait, let her grow out of some shit, let her past kind of, move a little bit down the fucking line and ensure your chick right. But like I say, this bitch should be sending me photos of her titties and all. Like, I'm like, bitch, this bitch is wild. Like, wow. And then don't like her fucking husband, be saying, like, you bitches foul as fuck. And they be seeing this nigga post and shit, he in love with this bitch. I'm like, wow. That shit is crazy to me, man. Auto Boxer says, hey, Chad says, so we not gonna congratulate Reg. Says on this new t-shirt. Why you worry about my shirt? I be telling you niggas something weird, man. Says he gonna wear every day. Says for the next week, for the next month. Box Spartan, they're rolling. That's what rich niggas do. This would be rich nigga shit if I only wore this shirt every day. That's what rich people would do. And then what you want me to act like a dumb nigga like Floyd? And then I know Boxy says the verses from 50 Cent's Wankster song. And then I couldn't even write, if it was $1 billion on the line, I couldn't write one verse of any 50 Cent song. And then Steph says Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle is absolute cafeteria trash. Yeah, it done became that now once the black families start letting that fucking shit go off and be sold to whoever else runs that shit. Because I remember they were saying it was a Mexican lady running and she in there spewing out a bunch of racial shit. But that'd be the other thing when you go there, ain't no black people cooking in that motherfucker. And then Steph says says Picasso says doesn't even come close, says to Rudy's, says doesn't even come close to Rudy's, says over there across the street from the VA. And then he says Roman bring up their husbands, says all the time, says to remind herself that she agreed to the vows. But that bitch is a crazy shit. When I'm looking at that bitch, she bringing that shit up. And we in public, I'm talking about we in public, like how you gotta wait for them to get your order. It's crowded. And she just randomly bring up her husband, oh, my husband, this and that. While she wrapped under my arm, like I'm her, we in a relationship. I'm like, this bitch wild than a motherfucker. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to really play with this bitch. And then let people was like, I don't know if they thought that was a prank or they was being punked and maybe thinking I'm like, no, I'm here about to fuck this bitch. And then Autoboxer says, yeah, it says Roscoe Chicken and Waffles is trash. Says I was highly disappointed in it. He says Rudy's, yep. But folks, that's all I got. I'm out of this joint, man. I will catch y'all on the next one. I was gonna do a live and clown that nigga Drew, but nigga wasn't talking shit. But I still got a clown that nigga. He talking about motherfucking D Hodges. He running some weird shit called Rumble. These niggas is weird, but I got clown these niggas just from being weird ass clown ass niggas. And then, which I shouldn't be on, but these fools don't represent black folks at all. And then Matthew says I had a similar situation, says with a married chick, says her husband was a doctor, says she be with me, says talking shit about him, says and he brought her surgeries, fake titties, says I stopped before he found out. Yeah, it'd be a lot of these wives like that. Like I had another broad like that, man, that I met at the club. Matter of fact, it's the same club Suge got knocked out at. This before that shit happened. I remember this little pretty red bit bad. And I crack her, man. This chick was on. No real work to put in. And every time we'll talk, man, she'll fucking get off she'll just abruptly gotta get off the phone. And then I start figuring out, I always keep shit player. It ain't got nothing to do with me, shit. I ain't about to interfere and fuck any of that shit up. I just want to fuck. And so she ended up later coming out about her situation. She going through a situation with her husband. They split and this and that shit. And I'd be like, and I'd be looking like, damn, that marriage shit is some foul ass fucking shit. Because I'd be like, these wives doing way shit. Because when I see her in the club, she in there with the shortest of skirt. All red. Red bitches be bad in that red. She out there and she in there moving like she's single. And then to find out she married, they just going through they little troubles and shit. And it's like, man, this brought way the fuck out. What was another, man, like I say, it's a lot of these stories. That's why I was like, I would never do that. Especially with the army shit. The army shit got me. And then even when I was younger, it was shit I see in people that were married and seeing how they behave. It's like, I don't never want to go through that shit. I ain't never about to let nobody talk to me like that. And I never have. I've always stood true to that shit. Like, what? I gotta spend money for this bitch to like me? Well, we gotta go out to go out to eat. I gotta pay for it. And that shit's as a kid, I used to be like, that's why I'm the way I am. I do not do none of that shit. Like, so I'm just supposed to show all this shit, but if she like me, she can't buy shit. Like, so I gotta go broke just to show love, or what if we just like each other? Love ain't about spending money. That's some American shit. Oh, spend your money to show your sign of affection. Like, fuck all that shit. Bitches, you like me, you like me. Other than that, it's gonna be somebody else. I ain't gotta do. Bitches be hopping on niggas' nuts. And it's simple as that. All that shit, breaking your neck and doing that. And then for a bitch to treat you like shit and then be talking shit. I done seen thousands of cases like that. Would never go above and beyond for that shit. Especially we gotta rock with each other. I ain't about to go out wine and dine you. We ain't never fuck. Like, hell no. We ain't even comfortable enough to be on sexual shit. What I look like going to wine and dine you just to try to fuck. That's what most niggas be doing. Be doing all this wine and dining, trying to impress a broad because they ultimately want to fuck. I'm not about that. I was the reverse on all of that shit. And I'm still the same way. I am not into that dating and wine and dine. Now, when it's a chick, we cool. Now, it can be a chick I ain't fucking with, who I never fuck, but as long as our vibe is cool, we connected, we have a good time, we in conversation, never got to pull nothing off of her. Never even have to lay with her, but as long as we cool, we laugh, we can communicate, we enjoy our time, we can just go our separate ways, no hug, no kiss, we just vibing and cool. I can deal with that shit. I can go and chill with that. And they'd be the same bitch, wouldn't mind spending money neither. But all this other, just watching that shit as a kid, I used to be like, I ain't never doing that shit. What, you got to go and do this? Well, you got to fuck all that. Then I'll be here old and they start going through their little hiccups, crying and complaining like you see people on the internet all day in this current age talking about these chicks. Even niggas, when I first early got on this shit, who used to think the shit they used to hear me say was crazy, to now, today, they talk the most illest shit about women, about the wives that are out here. And I be laughing at these niggas because the shit I say, people, because they've been programmed to be suckers, to be willy foo-foo ass motherfuckers, and don't understand the game, don't truly understand women and the way in which women have been raised and shit. I don't blame none of these bitches. Even from the shit in the relationships I've been to, like I say, it's part of the game. Bitch can be on that cheating shit, bitch. I ain't about to cuss you out, go off on you. Next nigga can have you is part of the game. Bye, baby. If bitches be thinking it was play, like, man, come on. I keep shit PI like a motherfucking. I'm gonna always stick to that shit. Always gonna stay on that shit. Like I say, people ain't learning to love each other. They ain't. And that's the cold part of the game. When people find that love shit, you keep that shit. You do. Because I was looking at this shit earlier, like, what make a motherfucker get with a good ass chick and then be out here wanting to cheat on her? Like, that's the most insane shit to me. To get with a good chick, like, this your bro, she down with you and you want to cheat on her. Like, you are fucking crazy and shit. You're fucking wild and a motherfucker to fuck that off. Like, absolutely not. But that's all I got. I'm out of this joint. Peace. I'll be on this mother tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Good live. Good live. Yes, indeed. We out of here, folks. Peace, peace, and fuck Donald Trump.